That's incredible. Do you where do you have like these bigger goals with your photography at this point now, or are you kind of like in the in the in the midst of the job?
I guess a little bit of both. It's definitely been a pivot moving here to a different city, building new clients, and I've only just left corporate within the last year, so adjusting to having to go chase, and I hate pitching. It's something I hate to do, but yeah, I would like to probably lean more into events and corporate space, because portraits in themselves are often, they're like one-off, and I want to try to find those bigger relationships, those ongoing relationships where I can be utilized more, and I don't have to pitch, because I hate that.
I agree. Do you find it hard? This is gonna be like a total, like, I can only ask you this question, but like, do you find it hard whenever companies don't value the importance of a brand?
I guess definitely speak to like the aspect of being a creator, and obviously creators, a lot of them have to be photographers now. Brands who want you to star in the content, like for you to style an outfit or show off an experience. They want stuff done for free. They want to offer you an exchange. But there's like so much time that obviously goes into the work. There's so much that we've invested into creating work that they're obviously asking us to do because they like it. So yeah, there's definitely like an ongoing discussion about like value, and just valuing the work.
I find it very difficult. I've had some clients before where they understand that marketing is a thing, and they understand that they want a brand, but they don't understand what it takes to build the brand. And then they oftentimes, to give them a lot of credit, they undervalue the effort that it takes to build a brand, and how the return, the ROI isn't instant. You kind of have to build it. So I've lost
not just
clients.
one single shoot too. It's like,
it's not just one. We kind of have to find your niche. We have to figure out who's coming to your bar, who's coming. We have to kind of figure out how to sell it, and it won't happen all at once. And in the same way that they like, this is part of my pitch. You can totally steal this. But I say this to companies all the time. I ask, how long did it take you to get here in your company? And they say, well, it took X amount of years, or blah, 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 right? I'm like, in the same way that it took you that long to build your company, it should take you somewhat a microcosm of that time to build your brand. Because those two things don't happen at the same time. Maybe you're lucky and you happen to hit a market and you sell a product that nobody else was doing. Maybe you're Buc-ee's. And like, you don't necessarily have to compete on that level, and you kind of hit the jackpot, and now you just get to replicate, and then you focus on, okay, well, we have to be clean, and we have to be tidy, and we have to be friendly, and we have to, maybe you're that, and you kind of fall into that. But most people don't do that. Most people like have a business, they have a vision, they work at it week after week, month after month, year after year, and they're in the red for a very long time. And then they do it because they love it, and then all of a sudden they get a big break. They whatever their trajectory is, and then they find themselves in this position of like, well, okay, now we have to market, now we have to try to get this and that, and then they think that the brand is quick. Like, if I just pay for this, it should be able to go everywhere, and I'm like, that's not really how it works.
No.
You know what I mean? So I always say, however long it took you to build this business, you should think about building a brand in the same way. Because it takes a while, But it can be frustrating, because I've lost clients, and I become really invested. I'm like, oh man, I think we could go this. I envision this kind of like, not just one photograph, but like I envision this whole thing of, you can get these kind of photographs and invite these kind of people, and then like, document this and that, and create these kind of videos and blah, blah, right? And then by the time that we get to, a third of it, they're like, oh, well, we're not necessarily seeing the activation that we thought that this was going to be. So like, we're just going to stop it. And I'm like, oh, but you were so cool. You were like, you could have been this
they don't have
thing,
the patience.
Yeah.
Sadly, I guess a lot of them don't have the same vision too. Especially when they delegate like social media presence to like an intern, or the staff who work at the restaurant, like as a side thing. Whereas, yeah, like you could have like a really good vision for their social media, for their website, creating content that draws people in and really wants them to come there. Yeah, it's sad when they're a little more short-sighted and they want that instant gratification, the instant turnaround.
Yeah. What are the, in your career, what have been the most difficult parts of saying like, well, I'm gonna try to do this for a living?
Yeah, working with restaurants definitely has seemed hard to pick up. There's some people, a lot of content creators do a great job. They have really big following. They've been very consistent building up that specific brand as an advocate. And brands will look for that quick turnaround. Restaurants look for that quick turnaround with that influencer. But aside from that, if they look at like their online presence as just through the lens of like influencer marketing, and they'll team up with local PR agencies just to bring out influencers to just kind of, take their own content, do some work for free, and that's like their online publicity. I found there's less interest in, at least for me, and I need to be pitching more to fully say this, but from what I've experienced and from what some other people have shared with me too, is they're looking for more the influencer side of things versus like creating curated content. And those who do, they're usually like a restaurant chain who has
so then
really
they
takes it more seriously.
So then they get more corporate.
Yeah.
It's frustrating because sometimes I watch, I mean, you're shedding a light onto like what happens behind the scenes in terms of like the restaurant or the group, the restaurant group or whatever, because a lot of times they're groups, right? Yeah. Or like hospitality groups or whatever, right? Yeah. They will reach out to the PR agencies, all the influencers will come out, and what will end up happening is that it's all these influencers that are not really big yet. No. They have a couple thousand followers, they make a couple hundred, and they want to get more, and they think that this restaurant's going to be this next big thing. So then they all take their phones out. All of a sudden, that restaurant for the next week has this big influx of content of where people are going in, and they essentially did it for free. Yeah, like they got it. They got it for free in the sense that they didn't have to pay the influencers. They probably paid the PR agency, but they didn't have to pay the influencer, because the influencer also has the vested interest in saying like, well, the more that I do this, the more that I can get, the algorithm will boost my stuff, and then I'll get some sort of followers because of it, and it feels like it should be a win-win, but in a lot of ways it kind of feels very I don't know if this is the right word, but like predatory. It feels sure. It feels kind of like you're taking advantage of the fact that people are longing for doing this as a career, and instead of it being mutually beneficial to where you can facilitate a stepping stone into that career, it feels more like, well, we just know that we're gonna get more. Like they're definitely gonna get a lot more foot traffic
for sure.
And all they need is for one of those influencers to go viral. For then all of a sudden, like every weekend for brunch, they have people. Yeah. At least for the foreseeable future,
Yeah, they're gonna get some people in there who are very talented. I think a lot of the stuff can kind of look like it's just waving your phone around, but there's some people who have a really good eye for this stuff, but don't have the courage to ask. Or to say no. There needs to be some way to unionize, If enough people say no, then they're going to have to start paying people. But
that's interesting, a union for influencers?
But at the same time, like you have to do some free work to have a portfolio to show.
Right.
Yeah.
This camera,
it's right in the sun.
Is like fully behind him to the point that you can't.
Okay.
Small pause.
Because, it is predatory how... these businesses, and it's not even just like restaurants, it's clothing companies, it's skincare companies, beauty, all those things. Like, they're going to keep getting free work because people, after a certain point, even when they've already built the portfolio, will continue to work for free or ask for like pennies. I get DMs from like, I don't know if you heard of Koofandi. They're like an Amazon brand. They'll reach out every couple months and they'll want to pay me like $50 for like a get ready with me video. And then we go back and forth, and then maybe they'll offer me like 75. No, it's crazy, and they do it because eventually they get enough people to meet whatever their quota is for however many influencers they want to work with.
They'll divide that by their budget.
Yeah, and that budget is low. They know they're going to get enough people who are going to work for pennies or nothing at all. There's a lot of good discussions happening on Threads right now. There's a lot of like creator discussions, people sharing knowledge as like a full-time person or someone who's like, I'm tired of working for free, and these brands are asking for like 5 revisions after.
Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy. The revisions are crazy.
It is crazy.
But that's why, like, I think a lot of people I think this is I've gotten this problem even whenever I do like event photography. So like I'll do like weddings or like, I've done that before. I tend not to because that's a whole thing in and of itself. Yeah. And if you want it done right, you need a team, right? Yeah. But on the off chance that somebody's like, no, just you, like it doesn't have to be crazy, blah, 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 right? Eventually you'll get that one person that you realize as a photographer that why the photo packages are always like 2 revisions max.
Yeah. Because
then though you'll have but I don't like this, but can we do this one, or can you actually I like the other photograph more. Can you send me all of them instead of the ones that you chose? And so it's just constantly going back to those files, and it's just like, man, I've got a lot more to do, and now my labor has been like my labor. You've exceeded what you've paid me for.
Yes.
On a labor level, right?
Because you try to be nice, you try to give them like a little extra. Okay, yeah, just one more revision, it's fine. And then you realize like how far past that line in your head that you initially drew, like how far you went.
Yeah. I've gotten offers for me to like do this podcast thing. Yeah. For other people, and it's never come into fruition because they don't understand how much this is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like, look, I'm providing already like thousands of dollars worth of equipment, and like I'm not even sure that that they'll ask for like a certain amount of reels after the fact and like the raw footage, and I'm just like, man, dude, what are we doing? Like
they just see like the finished product and they're like, that can't be that expensive.
That can't be hard, right? And I'm just like, no, it's difficult. This is relatively low budget.
Oh wow!
For like the kind of level that you can have, the kind of automation and optimization that you can have. Yeah. This is still kind of like on the lower side, and even still, it's expensive. If you like that video, please make sure you like and subscribe. We're on every social media platform. It really helps out in the algorithm if you do that, and it also helps us make better content for you in the future. We are 100% self-funded, and we have so many ideas that we want to get out to you guys, but we won't be able to do it without you. So please hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that subscribe button. We really, really, really appreciate it. Until next time, see you around.